Okay, so I know you guys recognize that theme song. That's the Galaxy Rangers. Originally broadcast back in 1986, it was a super cool sci-fi space western. And as the story goes, a couple of benevolent aliens brought Earth its first hyperdrive, and from there, colonies spread out. But they soon ran afoul of the evil empire, and thus the need for the Galaxy Rangers was born. And even though that sounds like some tired, cliched intro to just about every 80s cartoon show, this one actually had some really unique things going for it. It had a great soundtrack, including 3 actual songs that were written for the show, not just the theme song with some background music. It had stellar animation, and the storylines were relatively mature for the time. So the bulk of the adventures centered around our 4 central characters: Goose, Nico, Zack, and Doc. Shane Gooseman was a military experiment gone mercenary, whose unique ability is biological adaptation. Up next is Nico, who's a martial artist and psionicist. After that, we have Zachary Fox, the leader of the Rangers, who was injured in battle and supports bionic implants. Rounding out the list is Doc Hartford, a swashbuckler and computer expert, whose unique abilities allow him to imbue his creations with parts of his own personality. And one of the cooler elements of the show was the Rangers' badges. Called an S5 badge, it was sort of like a trigger point that actually enhanced all of the Rangers' natural abilities. So it sort of just turned the volume up to 11 for what they were able to do. So we've got a good overview of the show and what it was all about, but let's take a look at what we're really here for. The toys. Produced by Galoob and distributed exclusively overseas, unfortunately, it was actually a relatively small line of figures and accessories. The line featured only 3 heroes and 3 villains. That's right, a show with 4 Rangers ended up with only 3 making it to plastic because of tired old thinking. What we ended up getting was Goose, Doc, Zachary, which rounded out the Rangers, and for our villains we got Slade, Captain Kidd, and the Evil Queen. In all honesty, I'm kind of surprised about the villain selection because they had characters like Scarecrow who were really strong and would have made an awesome toy. On the bright side, we did at least get prototypes of Nico and one of the villains, Metalhead. So really that was it, just a 6-figure offering. We did also get some support items in the form of the metallic horses and a laser set as well as a roleplay pistol, but we didn't get anything quite as cool as the Ranger 1 or their Starfighter. So, let's take a look at the toys. The first image we see here is actually my collection of figures, and I want to say that it's fully complete, but all those accessories are repro. These things are next to impossible to find on eBay, and you kind of just take what you can get when you can get it. But I'm extremely happy to have them, and when I look at them, it just brings back a lot of really great childhood memories. With that being said, even finding images of carded figures or carded examples today is just like the proverbial needle in a haystack. But here's what I came up with, so let's get started. So here's a look at the main 3 good guys. We've got Zack, Goose, and Doc in this image. And here is sort of a closer look at the individual carded figures. And now here's a look at the bad guys. Up first we have Captain Kidd. Next we have Slade. And finally we have the Evil Queen on a strange-looking gold card, which sort of leads me to believe that maybe this saw an even more limited release than the original figures. The card backs featured, like many other toys, pictures of other toys that you could get in the line. But as you look at the back of this Captain Kidd package, there just really isn't much filling up that spot. And here is a look at the laser set. Technology which I'm assuming was either borrowed or developed in tandem to what Mattel was doing over with Brave Star and Mask at the time. And now here is a look at their trusty steeds. So why this line never got here is a real head-scratcher to me. In taking a stab at it, it could be because Brave Star from Mattel wasn't exactly a gigantic success in the toy aisles, and maybe that sort of gave Galoob some cold feet with it. Both of them utilized that similar technology in the laser-based toys, so maybe in seeing what happened with that space western Bravestar, it was just decided to cut their losses and maybe only put the toys into markets which were a little bit hotter for the product at the time. It's unfortunate, though, because when you want to get down into the nuts and bolts, Galaxy Rangers was superior to Bravestar in almost every way, and Bravestar was a great show. So, I would love to know your thoughts on the Galaxy Rangers. Comment below, and if I don't hear from you, I'll see you in the toy aisle.